Spider-Man Brand New Day reveals Spidey versus the Hand. So he's battling his chronic mess. No, Zendaya footage at CinemaCon. So he's going to take on the Hand and Zendaya. That's weird. Because I think they're married in real life. Or engaged. Something like that. Anyway, Sony's CinemaCon promotion for Spider-Man Brand New Day has dropped. A new poster showing Spider-Man surrounded by the Hand, the wall crawler leaping into action as sword-wielding enemies close in below. The second poster features a look at Zendaya as MJ, and new footage has, dropped. The posters don't reveal any plot details except that he's going to fight the Hand. Well, that's okay. The trailer did the same thing. He was getting ready to battle him and stuff. And so there you go. But do offer a fresh look at the movie's tone and possible street-level direction. Instead of a cosmic setup or multiverse-heavy tease, the first poster puts Spider-Man in the middle of a grounded fight in New York against a group of ninja-like attackers tied to one of Marvel's most well-known criminal factions. Yeah, but there is the elements of the supernatural with them. I guess maybe not all of them, but, all right, I'm not all that up on the Hand, but I do know, of them. So anyway, here he goes, another scene of them. In the trailer, you can see it from the side view or what have you. But here he is leaping into action, and they've got their swords out. And but he's got spider powers, so he'll be fine. Don't worry. So anyway, the biggest takeaway from the poster is the inclusion of the Hand, who were also featured in a recent trailer. That's right, I just said that. The group is known in Marvel Comics as a deadly ninja clan with deep ties to characters including Daredevil, Elektra, and Kingpin. Yeah, Elektra came out of that group. See, they like to wear red too, just like she does. And they did feature that in the Netflix of the Hand, elements of them in Daredevil on Netflix, as I recall. So now they're going to make their cinematic debut in Spider-Man. And Spider-Man exists in the same, they all exist together in the Marvel Universe, of course. But Spider-Man has probably more interactions with the likes of Daredevil and characters like that than, Captain America and that sort of thing. But anyway, so we're finally going to get some actual more Spider-Man-like action in this movie. So anyway, the biggest takeaway, we already did that. So do I play it? You've seen it. I don't know what the rules are. I'll get in trouble. I won't do it. With Spider-Man now apparently facing off against them, the new movie could be leaning into a more brutal and grounded style compared to some of the bigger spectacles seen in previous MCU Spider-Man films. Yeah, it's at least, first glance here, it's actually doing Spider-Man stuff in a Spider-Man movie. Who'd have thunk it? The first two, I didn't care for. They weren't, it just wasn't Spider-Man. It was like some other character, dressing up as Spider-Man. But that third one, Tom Holland got to be Peter Parker for the first time. And, plus you had all the cosmic shenanigans of multiverse and everything. But whatever, you got to get there somehow. And I loved it. It was great. And, of course, having the other Spider-Man there and them interacting, it was cool. And Doctor Strange. Look, Spider-Man, he's had interactions with him probably more than the likes of Captain America. And, well, of course, the Fantastic Four he's had a lot of interactions with. But Iron Man, that's kind of more of a recent thing. Well, maybe, probably 20 years now, but still in the comics, And about him being a mentor figure and that kind of thing. But Doctor Strange, because, that's another Steve Ditko creation, he featured on occasion, rather prominently in the Spider-Man lore. And so that last movie just worked on so many Spider-Man levels. And now looks like more of the same. So now you've got the heartbreaking soap opera stuff that it was so typical of Spider-Man lore. And so there he is. He's thinking about her, but he can never be with her because of the spell cast and all this stuff. And does he try to reintroduce himself to her in the hopes that something might happen and all that sort of thing? So anyway, Zendaya appears as who else? MJ. Well, the MCU MJ, but in the second image, looking off into the distance, which seems to reflect where things left off in the last movie, after she and the rest of the world forgot who Peter Parker is. That's right. They don't know that's Peter Parker underneath the mask. And even if they did, they're still like, who the hell's that? Yeah. So anyway, the new posters released out of CinemaCon. The posters, they're going to show me the more of those. So they get a better look at it. Yeah, okay. That was in Las Vegas? I mean, this was going on? Well, I was busy. It's funny. When did they do this? Was that like the same time? Well, whatever. That's kind of funny. Probably could have caught a cab and went and looked, Well, anyway, updating. We're waiting word on whether Sony screened trailer footage or any exclusive scenes during its CinemaCon presentation. More details should be coming soon. Well, I imagine they probably did. Variety says the CinemaCon footage focused on the consequences of Peter Parker erasing himself from everyone's memory at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. The scene starts with Peter at a local bodega when Ned walks in to buy beer and a keg without recognizing his former friend. Peter then follows Ned to a crowded college party where he sees Michelle Jones Watson kissing a new guy. That's Zendaya's character. Yeah, it's not Mary Jane anymore. It's... confirming NJ has moved on because she no longer remembers Peter exists. Would have been hilarious if she was... Anyway, at the party, Ned is still obsessed with figuring out who Spider-Man is. Huh? He even has a conspiracy board and tells Peter, who introduces himself as Maynard. Huh? Why? I mean, he doesn't know you're Peter. He's never known Peter Parker. So you can introduce yourself as yourself. Anyway, that Spider-Man once saved his life, and he only wants to thank him. Oh, does Ned I know it's Peter. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, Ned says he has narrowed Spider-Man's identity down to two suspects: Flash Thompson and Professor Harrington. Yeah, he's way off. MJ also gets a line in the footage telling the crowd, there's like 50 people in our apartment. Statistically speaking, it means at least 2 are sociopaths, which is cool. Peter then awkwardly introduces himself as just a neighbor from across the hall and gives her a small bouquet of flowers. Boy, he just can't let go. Anyway, the Tom Holland introduced the scene via hologram and said the movie deals directly with the fallout from Peter's decision. He also called Spider-Man Brand New Day the most emotional Spider-Man movie yet and said it is also the most grown up. Well, more emotional than the death of Aunt May? I mean, he was pretty upset about that. Anyway, it'll be here July 31st. Are you ready? Yeah. It's probably going to be their best movie, and that's the MCU. Oh, right. It's a Sony production, of course, this time around, but it's MCU. And it's probably going to be their best movie they've had in a while. Now, I like Thunderbolts. I'm one of the few who saw it, but, the MCU problem. But I think Spider-Man can survive the damage done to the MCU brand overall. And so Spider-Man should do all right and may even hit another $1 billion. It may do just that. So there you go. Spider-Man. But even though I'm optimistic, could there be trouble along the way? Oh no, Spider-Man looks nervous. Who can blame him? Because, MCU is not doing great. So Tom Holland says Spider-Man Brand New Day reshoots are just icing on the cake. Well, we know the reputation of reshoots with MCU. So every time you hear it, you're like, oh no. But it also tells you it was going to be worse than what you inevitably see, So anyway, Tom Holland is putting any concern about Spider-Man Brand New Day reshoots to rest. In a new interview with GQ, Holland said he's currently in London doing additional photography for the movie, but made it clear the film was already in good shape before the extra work. But then why did, this and that. According to Holland, the new scenes are not being done because the movie's in trouble. He said, I can positively say that the stuff we're doing we don't need. And added that the movie works and sings as it is. Oh no, a musical? Not another one. Oh look, there's Boomerang. Throwing his, boomerangs. That does. But it looks like right out of the comic book Spider-Man. It looks really good. But maybe this is like the end and mid credit scenes for Doomsday and stuff. It might be that kind of thing, So he's saying that movie didn't need it. So the actual movie in and of itself, it's fine. It's just they're going to add on this extra stuff because next up, Doomsday. So Holland explained that what they are shooting now is more about polishing things up than fixing anything major. He said they're just adding icing on the cake in certain areas, finding ways to add a little bit more humor. See, I was fine until I heard that. So there's one thing MCU has way too much of are the jokes. They're not that great. And they choke the movie. I mean, the peak of that was Love and Thunder, which could have been a good movie. The plot was sound. And they just beat it to death with idiot jokes. Holland also teased they are layering in a villain plot line in a new way. Okay, that's more than polish. Which is probably the biggest takeaway for fans looking for clues about what the movie is really setting up. Layering the plot line. That's not like they went in post to add more effects or something like that. That's the actual plot line for this villain. So, I'm having a hard time believing that the movie was fine. They're just adding icing, I can positively say that the stuff we're doing, we don't need. Well, then why they're layering the villain plot? Maybe some extra shots that adds more to the backstory to the guy or something. I don't know, but a little troubled about that. So, anyways, brand new day, July. All these people are in it. And as for plot details, well, let's see. Marvel's official synopsis says Peter is now older. Yeah. Alone. And fully committed to being Spider-Man after No Way Home. But as crime escalates in New York, the pressure on Peter causes a dangerous change in him while a new major threat arises. So there you go. Oh, boy. You don't know me, but you're a stalker. She's going to be all freaked out. Some masked man keeps wanting to talk to her and stuff. Oh, well. But it's Spider-Man, and it's their best bet. It is. And still, if there's troubles, it could still be a $1 billion MCU film, just like in the old days. But guess what else? It's rather clustered and crowded. That could hurt it. Or maybe it'll help. What's going on with his ears? Yeah, someone screwed up the Photoshop here. They really did. You didn't match up the sizing of his head to the... Jeez. Spider-Man Brand New Day leak reveals Mark Ruffalo's Savage Hulk. I'm savage. I'm Hulk savage. Spider-Man Brand New Day might be adding a much more brutal Hulk to the mix. That was always the rumor, and I think it's true. As new leaked merched images appear to show what looks like Mark Ruffalo's Savage Hulk tied to the movie. The image include a shirt and an angry, classic-looking Hulk, and another comic-style design for Brand New Day that also features, you guessed it, Hulk, adding more fuel to the idea that Bruce Banner's monster side is a real part of the film. None of it is official plot confirmation, but it lines up with the growing rumors and speculation surrounding Ruffalo's roles. Let's take a look. Well, it's almost gray, But anyway, he's like, "Rrr." Maybe he's just mad because he was walking down the sidewalk and he stepped in some dog shit, and he's mad at the asshole who didn't, bring his poop scooper thing. Grrr. Or he's back to being nasty. Hope that's what people want. They don't want, hey guys, how's it going? Everything's chill. No, nobody wants that. What stands out is that this does not look like the calmer Smart Hulk, smart-ass Hulk version fans got used to in recent MCU appearances. Yeah, they're terrible. The leaked design points more to a savage, rage-heavy Hulk, which immediately raises questions about what happens to Banner in the movie and how dangerous he becomes. One of the rumors is Jean Grey will mess with his head and it unleashes the Savage Hulk, with Ruffalo already part of the cast. The merch leak has fans wondering if Marvel is hiding a bigger Hulk twist than expected. Yeah, it could be. The rumors going around claim Sadie Sink's mystery character, Jean Grey, widely speculated by fans to be Jean Grey, unleashes the Savage Hulk for, some reason. And maybe it's accidentally. He's like, well, I didn't mean for it to go that bad. But it does. Oh. Aren't those like Klingon, what do they call it, bath lift? He's a Star Trek fan, I guess. And he made him his boomerangs. Anyway, the recent trailer also gives fans something else to look at. Banner appears to be controlling his Hulk persona through his blood. Well, that would mean I guess you can say that's how he developed it, because you meet him in Avengers Endgame and he's all, he's chilled and lazy and totally uninteresting and all that. And then in She-Hulk, he's the same way. But I'm blanking on that whole show, but I think he did mention something about that. So they carry that on here. Which suggests Marvel may be leaning into a more unstable setup for the character in Brand New Day. So I guess he loses his injections or something, and then he rages out, and now it's all ruined. So anyway, if that control fails, it could explain how Savage Hulk enters the story and why Spider-Man gets pulled into the fallout. Based on the official setup for the movie, Peter Parker turns to Banner for his help as his powers begin mutating in dangerous ways. So Banner's condition looks like it could be tied directly to the larger plot. So this is also in Hulk lore. Every now and then, Banner would find a way to get some amount of control over the Hulk persona, and then it would fail. And eventually he'd lose all that. So that's, and of course, Peter mutating and all that. That is also Spider-Man lore. Tom Holland recently confirmed the movie is doing it. Yeah, we talked about that. He says it's fine, relax. Everything is, it's just great. So there you go, same deal. And look-wise, it looks pretty damn cool. And but it's their best bet. And then you got Doomsday, which it may be a hit, but does that really mean Marvel is back from the abyss, back from the toilet they put themselves in? Well, that remains to be seen. Meanwhile, there's the other Sony projects, Spider-Verse, and I've yet to see any of these cartoons, but they've done very, very well. The other Sony Spider-Man movies with no Spider-Man have not, except for the first Venom. That one did good. And, for what it is, it's all right. The other two, I still haven't seen the third one. The second one it really fizzles. And there you go. The others, I haven't bothered with those either. Not even Morbius. And so there you are. Spider Noir looks good, although the recent claims of it being a comedy have me concerned. But at least it has a kind of Spider-Man in it. Spider-Verse films, they had, a lot of Spider-Man in it. So, you get that. So anyway, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse gets new look at CinemaCon. So, wow, that'll be next year. We'll get this one. So Sony used CinemaCon to spotlight Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So it'll just be Miles Morales and none of the others because when does he get his own? If you're anyway, 4 images. So there we go. The movie will hit theaters again next year. So does he have close-ups of the images? Yeah, he does. Okay, we'll go through those. Let me read what else he does because, I read so well. The new images tease more of Miles Morales, his family, and the wild multiverse action fans expect from the franchise. One image shows Miles with his father, Jefferson Davis. The second image shows Miles facing off against Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. The original Spider-Man 2099 I actually liked. It's had Rick Leonardi art, and Miguel becomes the Spider-Man of that era. And he's older than Peter Parker was, as I recall. They might have changed that and made him younger now. I don't know. But it was cool. It was like in a Blade Runner futuristic city and stuff like that. And then it ended. It was a whole line. There was a 2099 Doctor Doom story and a Punisher 2099, stuff like that. So anyway, the third includes Spider-Punk, whom I don't give a damn about. A stylized image with the message, "Gonna save your dad," which points to the emotional stakes at the center of the story. Another features his Uncle Aaron, and another, if his father. You mean of his, but you've already said. Sony describes the film as the highly anticipated conclusion to the Spider-Verse saga. So there we go. That's his father, and it's a touching scene and all that. The film follows Spider-Croc. Okay, we don't need to read all that crap there. The image we've already seen. So that's sort of a really intense black and white version of Spider-Man 2099 because it's really black and red. He did it first, Miles. And so there he is beating up Miles for some reason. And then it's directed by this guy and that guy, and all these people are in it. Phil Lord and Miller, they did the screenplay, whatever. All these people produced it. There's Spider-Punk. And these people do the voices. Oh, look, it's the other characters. So there you go. Again, I didn't see the cartoons. I should make time to do that. At some point, do a review and all that goody gumdrop stuff. But nevertheless, they're successful. So there's a following for it. So I'm imagining quite a people are excited for more Spider-Man. More Spider-Man than you can possibly stand. But you'd better learn to stand it because you're gonna get it.